Hello and welcome. The President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, has welcomed the release of 279 schoolgirls abducted by gunmen last week. The governor of Zamfara state said he'd negotiated with the kidnappers and come to an arrangement to address some of their grievances, but that no ransom had been paid. The girls appear unharmed, although some have complained about being forced to walk for hours without rest. So let's have a listen to one of those girls who was abducted. She spoke about her ordeal.
Most of us got injured on our feet and we could not continue trekking. So the captors said they would shoot anybody who did not continue to walk. We walked across the river and they hid us and they let us sleep under shrubs in a forest.
We can join our correspondent there, Ishaq Khalid. Ishaq, relief, of course, that the girls have been released and seem unharmed. But what do we know about the negotiations that took place in order to get them freed?
Well, at the moment, there are no details about the negotiations, but the governor of Zamfara state, where the incident happened, told the BBC that they negotiated with the gunmen and no ransom was paid. But they used, or they negotiated through repentant armed criminal gang members, those who were in the kidnapping business before, and then they repented under an amnesty program with the government. Of course, the authorities rarely admit that ransom is paid whenever there are abductions, and have been speaking to some of the parents of these girls. They have been telling me that they're extremely happy that they are back. Many of them told me that the last 4 or 5 days have been that of uncertainty. And one thing that they are, unanimous about is that all of them say that they are willing to send their children back to school despite what happened. But they're calling on the authorities to make sure that security is provided for schools across the country, especially in those areas where insecurity is quite endemic.
That's good to hear that they're confident about sending their girls back to school, Ishaq. But do we know if there was a specific group that was actually responsible for this mass kidnapping?
Well, basically, there's no specific identification of a group. But what we know is that these gangs are not a single organized group in that region in northwestern Nigeria, but they are pockets of armed men who have been kidnapping people basically for ransom in that region in the northwest of the country. But in the northeast of Nigeria, there is this group, Boko Haram, which has been waging an insurgency for more than 10 years now. It kidnapped students also in the past, but in this case, it appears they are armed men who were looking for ransom, but the government said that no ransom was paid. Remember, they were abducted on Friday from their boarding school. The armed men broke into the school as the students slept, and then they carried some of them. Many, of course, managed to escape. But many are also calling on the authorities to ensure that security is provided, given that these kind of abductions are likely to have huge impact on education in Nigeria, which is the country with the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. And that particular region where the children have been kidnapped in Nigeria is far behind other regions when we are talking about education in the country.
Ishaq, thanks so much for joining us with that from Abuja, and great to know the girls appear unharmed. They are well and are looking forward to going back to school.